Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our NCIS Season 17, Episode 14 preview. This seems to be the annual let's make you really afraid for somebody's life episode that the show does.
And they did a very good job of making us worried.
This time around, the person in question is Nick Torres. They really want you to think that Wilmer Valderrama is going to be leaving the show.
Yeah.
Is he? Is he not? We will give you the evidence within this video, but before we do, if you like this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates we've got coming your way.
Now, before we kind of jump into what's happening with Nick, we will say that this show, and lots of shows out there, love to do this type of stuff where they scare everybody that so-and-so is leaving. Like we had McGee's maybe getting another job, and then we would get a bunch of questions about, is Sean leaving the show? Or, you know, there's a million times a year that Mark is leaving the show. And, you know, I'm just going to say that I don't think that Wilmer's actually leaving the show. That being said, this promo is scaring the life out of me.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, a slight NCIS New Orleans spoiler from earlier this season. After I saw that they got rid of Lucas Black on New Orleans the way that they did, which was just like, oh, we're just going to randomly kill off a major character in the middle of the season, anything is theoretically possible.
Yes.
However, there hasn't been any buzz that Wilmer is leaving.
No, there's been no buzz. Wilmer's been really good throughout his whole time on this show, sharing stuff that's happening on his Instagram and social media. You know, we're here today, I'm on set doing this, today's this happening. So, I mean, it just feels like he's such a part of this show, and he loves being a part of this show, and I don't know why the show would ever want to get rid of him. Like, it just doesn't feel like he's leaving. However, this journey is really going to be something that I think is going to have a lot of us talking, because even though I don't think he's leaving the show, he is going to be in critical condition. We saw in the promo that he's going to be in ICU, and things are going to be really hairy. So from that, I think a lot of really interesting storylines are kind of going to be mined from this.
Well, the thing about the flatline, because they like showed it going at the very end of it. So if Torres was going to die, I don't think you show that in the preview, because then you're basically giving the game away.
Yes, and I feel that if Torres is ever going to die, which knock on wood, that's never going to happen, I just feel like he's gonna go out another way. It's not gonna be in a hospital from injuries. It's gonna be some crazy blaze of glory.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like how Torres is gonna go, but let's pick up instead on something else you mentioned just a second ago. If we were all to put on our tinfoil hats here and sort of think about, okay, why is NCIS doing this particular episode, mind you, right around the time that February sweeps are going to start to be amping up.
Yep.
And also, I mean, there's going to be a one-week hiatus, more than likely in early February for State of the Union. So this is probably going to be an episode that we're left to sort of simmer on. When you go through an experience where your life is in danger,
I like where you're going.
You start to think about things a little bit differently.
And so do the people around you.
Maybe, for example, Torres would start to think, is there something that is on my mind or in my heart that I need to say before I end up possibly dying? Is there a...
Or, if he's flatlining, maybe there's something that Bishop now needs to say.
Yeah.
The thing is ever since Nick called Bishop his sister and put her in this weird, like, family friend zone, there's really not been a lot of moments with them anymore. And we never expected it to just stay cold forever. I expected it to be cold for a little while, because if somebody's like, oh yeah, you're like a sister to me. If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, all right, well, that's the end of that then, because that's a little too much. I don't want to be somebody's sister and then the next thing I know they're kissing me or something. It's just like, no. But this is TV, and people have said, you're like a sister or like a brother to me, and people get together and all that sort of stuff has happened. I just think that was going to pour some cold water on it for a little while, and it did. And that it was going to take a situation like this, where something really serious happens, where Nick's life is on the line, or somebody's life is on the line, to get people thinking about stuff and talking about stuff and what you wish you had said and maybe what you feel and that sort of stuff. So my prediction is that this is going to kick Ellie in the you-know-what a little bit to really do a deep dive into what she's thinking and what she's feeling, whether or not he tried to sister zone her or not.
Well, this is the thing, I think, about the "you're like a sister to me" of it all. I feel like somewhere within Nick Torres is still Wilmer Valderrama's other famous character of Fez from that 70s show. Yes. And this feels totally like a situation from an episode of that 70s show where Fez would say this to someone he was interested in, and then he would spend the rest of the episode like beating himself up. I feel like in Torres's head, this has been going on for about the past 2 months.
Oh, for sure it has. And I'm sure that Nick has been trying to figure out how to really deal with it, because, you know, we have seen Ziva, who's called him a wuss a couple times and told him to just admit how he feels, and he's had a little smile about it. He knows how he feels, but for whatever reason, he doesn't want to act on it right now. He doesn't want the relationship to move forward right now, and that's fine. But at least admit how you're feeling, at least to yourself, to be like, okay, this is how I feel, but for whatever the reason, not right now. Yeah. Maybe later. But it's been a little bit longer since we've kind of checked in with Ellie and how she's feeling, because it has felt like there's a lot of chemistry between them. It's definitely there. But for the past season-ish, you know, like last half of last season, beginning of this season, it's been more focused on Nick and his feelings, and Ellie's obviously had some other stuff going on with Ziva's secret spy shack and everything else that's going on. Maybe she wasn't focusing in on it.
But I'm right there with you. I would actually kind of prefer if this was sort of Ellie's opportunity to sort of be a little bit vulnerable. And I know NCIS is playing up the, oh, it's the big action hero guy gets sensitive storyline. And that's always kind of a fun thing for shows to do. But, you know, it would be nice to get something from the Bishop point of view here. And maybe she confides and talks about it with Sloane or something like that. And then that encourages her to at least have the conversation. Like, presuming that Torres survives, which I think we both believe that he's going to.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to.
I'm not saying that they're going to be spending Valentine's Day together with Torres down on one knee proposing or anything like that.
No, but I don't think they're going anywhere in that direction. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to go there yet. Yeah. What I'm kind of hoping for is a situation where Bishop thinks Nick can't hear her. And we've seen that happen in other shows before, where you think the person can't hear you and you pour your heart out, but really they can hear you. Yeah. And I think with Nick being the person who sister zoned her and was like, nope, this isn't happening, you're like a sister to me, move on, that her opening up in a way that he can learn how she feels might just be the ticket that he needs to be able to kind of like, okay, I'm not on this island alone. She is here. I wasn't sure. Now I know. And then reevaluate if it's the right time or not.
I think that's the good thing about this episode leading into it. Not that I'm saying that Nick having his life on the line is a good thing, but I feel like this will be one of those episodes that sort of alters everything, and there's no real walking anything back after this point, that we're going to be at a point where they actually start to move things forward. There have been so many like pieces of pavement laid down on Ellick Avenue that I think we're going to start actually, well, You know, I know you want to go to Slip Street, but actually, as it turns out, Ellick Avenue is a road onto Slip Street, and you have to go there in order to get to Slip Street. So,
I see.
Yeah, it's all
connected.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's the NCIS neighborhood.
It really is at this point. I think Ziva Town is like a like a borough within the NCIS community, and yeah, it's been a very long road down Ellick Avenue, but
yeah, I just feel like this episode is being perfectly set up for this to ignite again in some way, but I feel that it is time for Bishop's side of this ship. It's time. We've had a lot of Nick. We do know what's going on inside of him. She may or may not know. She does have that letter still that we don't know what it says from that whole hypnosis episode, which I feel like it's going to come back up again. And it might, who knows, maybe in this episode, she may read him the letter, express her feelings. Who knows what's going to happen with this. But that's what I feel. I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for Bishop to come clean. That's my prediction.
I think, I feel like what's going to happen here is she's going to come clean to somebody. I don't know if it will be Nick, but maybe we'll have a cliffhanger about it. I think feelings will be out there.
At least come clean to herself.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to come out of this. Or at least that's what they're setting it up for that.
Wouldn't it be great if that note was actually just like Nick speaking in caveman or something, and it was just like ooga booga, and we've waited all this time for just that?
Or it could be like his favorite recipe or something like that, and he's secretly this amazing chef.
What if it was just his grocery list? Protein powder, milk.
I like to think that it's him pouring out his feelings.
Yeah.
However, I feel that if it really was that Bishop would have had to actually face this a lot earlier than now.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if the note is just some sort of joke or something, but
yeah,
we will find out. This episode's coming soon, so let's get your NCIS Season 17, Episode 14 predictions. Do you think that Torres is actually going to die? Or do you think we're going to see some progress for Bishop and Torres?
Yep.
Share in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.